Hello everyone, I'm Al from Valentyn.co and welcome to the long overdue Age of Wonders 3, a rather fantastic fantasy 4X game. Carrying on from the previous two games, it is developed by Triumph Studios. Yeah, you might know them, they also made the Overlord games. Not my favourite, but this is certainly going to be a fantastic game. It's essentially fantasy civilization mixed with some Heroes of Might and Magic. Now, I say it's a mix between the two. It is a 4X game, but it's also not a full-on strategic RPG. It mixes between the two, and unlike Civilization, it focuses a lot more on combat. The game is currently on Steam and Good Old Games for Windows, but fear not, the Mac version is currently in development and has been for some time. The developers have already shown you a little screenshot or photo of it running on a MacBook Pro, and it's coming very shortly. They originally had it planned for now, but sadly that date has slipped by, and it was originally due to launch along with its very first expansion, which has just launched, the Golden Realms, and it adds some wonderful little things. You can play as Naga, Snakemen, Halflings, and you have new abilities and even dread monkeys. Monkeys that run around throwing deadly poo at people. What couldn't be better than that? Now, without further ado, let's get straight in and show you what this game is like, shall we? If we go to the options menu and graphics, I would strongly recommend you go around here and play with it. As you can see, I'm playing at full resolution, whacked 60 Hz, and the game doesn't drop a beat below it. It has the odd little lag spike. It's not really a lag spike, it drops to the 40 FPS, which isn't really lag from 60. And it's all due to silly crossfire drivers. I've got two graphics cards in my system, my Mac Pro, and that's due to that. And you'll also have this option here, wait for GPU. If you're on a Mac or you have multiple graphics cards, I strongly recommend you use that. That doesn't seem to be there for people with only one graphics card. As you can see, it says wait for GPU, causes the application to wait until all GPU data for one frame has been processed before sending the data for the next. This may fix possible overheating issues. Note, can negatively affect frame rate. Now, I haven't seen any frame rate issues. The game runs spectacularly at my max resolution, no problem. Like I said, 60 FPS capped at 60 Hz with VSync on. But without that ticked, my god, does the fan kick in on my Mac Pro. The bugger pumps out heat like no one's business. And I'm not sure what that is. It's probably got to do with the dual graphics cards, just crossfire drivers in general. But it's the only issue I've really had. And I'll show you what my other little problem is. As you can see, I've got everything maxed out ultra, everything else is set up. Controls, I do recommend to have a look through here, it makes things a lot easier. Gameplay wise, nothing really here. If you've seen this, it looks a lot like Civilization 5, as it should. It is a 4X game, but like I said, a lot more combat involved in RPG elements. Now here's my other little thing. You can see there's a portion of her dress there missing. There are tiny little texture glitches like this in the game, and I've experienced this years before when I had another dual AMD graphics card set up. It is all down to drivers, unfortunately. So expect tiny little flickers here and there, but if you've got an NVIDIA graphics card, as usual, you won't have any issues. So, without further ado, I'm playing with Ellie Thistlewood, one of the new little halfling characters from the expansion. But let's get in and show you what the combat's like. Now once you load in, you're here with your fancy character screen, what your character is. Continue on your quest to power Ellie Thistlewood. You log in and you're greeted with this beautiful artwork right away. The graphics is superb. This is the first game that I've had in the strategy series that's fully 3D. But as you zoom out, you get this beautiful 2D strategic map with resource icons of around, and along with your spheres of influence. It is beautiful. Zooming in, you can go in quite detailed, and you can see the amount of detail and effort they went in for everything. Even clicking on a character portrait will show the character there, the items they have, and their abilities. Now, like I said, it's got some Heroes of Might and Magic mixed in, and it's got a lot of RPG elements. These are some of my character abilities and skills here on the side, along with items. I have one called Crazed Chicken, where you throw chickens at an enemy target. They do 6 damage, and they do explosive damage, which is it's interesting enough. It's fantastic. It can do up to 14 for critical hit for throwing chickens, but you also get unique items, epic items, standard items, mythical items, and even specialized mounts, which you find through exploring dungeons and artifacts. Now here I've got some ancient ruins. It's unexplored, and I get bonuses to my cities and my realms by doing it, but you can see it's extremely strong. You have to be careful. Going in there, you can get wiped out pretty quickly. Going into the city view, as any Civ fan would want to do, you simply click on it twice. You've got your units that you can build, buildings, options to raise and destroy cities and migrate to humans. You can actually migrate races between cities, but doing so is an act of evil, and I'm playing as a good old halfling sorceress. I don't want to do things like that. And then existing upgrades, you can see what you have. I also have a throne city. This means that if my hero dies in combat, they'll get teleported back there, although sans their magical items. Even so, you can get other heroes, such as Dave the Brave right here. These are heroes that randomly appear and ask to be put into your service. They usually want a lot of gold in exchange for fighting for you. But even so, they are generals in their own right. They have their own abilities, their own level ups. It's fantastic. Around you see these item nodes. Unlike Civilization, you don't build farms and buildings. What you have on your map is what you get. So you have to strategically place your cities and outposts to slowly expand your sphere of influence. Your sphere is this. It's a hex-based game similar to Civilization as usual. But these benefit all things in your surrounding area, your entire realm, not just that city specifically. So do be careful on what you select and where you build it. People also get really upset morale-wise if you're in areas they don't like. So if I select, let's see, we'll select these folks here, halflings, and we'll move them to this dead area right here quickly. As I get there, you'll see my little morale meter there has dropped considerably. All my morale is low at minus 233. That's an awful lot. Shane the Pathfinder is minus 300. The halflings are also upset. And it's all because they're in areas they hate. They can't stand the ground they're on. It's blighted fertile plains. Blighted means it's essentially been touched by the undead in some way, in evil magic, and it's dying. They can't stand it. So if we move them back in, even just onto that small little grass area, they become content again. The morale is normal. So you do have to be careful of not only where you place your cities, but where you move your armies and what type of race you have. Everyone has their own specific wants and needs, and well, I'm playing the small folk. Little halflings that like their fairy magic and things like that. So you have to put them in a nice fertile green foresty areas near clovers and rainbows. It might sound stereotypical, but it's just what it is. Even so, I have a human city right here, and they're fairly content. If you click on them, their morale is extremely high. They're very happy. If you look at the bottom left there, up the screen you've got my hero icon, research panel where you can see what spells I'm researching. There are 3 categories. Strategic spells, which you can place here on the strategic map. This is the strategic map, the big open world one. You can summon beasts, cast magic on enemy cities, cast plagues, all sorts of cool things. Then there are also combat spells, which can only be used in combat, but you do have to research them. Every character or specialized hero also has their own unique spells and abilities. And they all level up, as I said, RPG wise. They can get their own items, their own spells. So you want to tailor make a little army for you. Unlike Civilization though, you can only have an army of 6 units, but you cannot stack them either. If you want to attack with multiple groups of armies at the same time, you have to position them around someone. This is where the hex-based system comes in. You can see my little hexes right here if I click this unit, where I can move them around. So if I had an army assaulting my own city, and I placed them all around, they would all attack at the same time. Unlike Civilization though, it doesn't have the same micromanagement when it comes to city building. It's fairly basic, but you can stack up to 5 queues at the same time for what you want to build, whether it be buildings, units, or upgrades. Now, like I said, the game is very combat driven and very much like Heroes of Might and Magic. Now I'm going to end my turn here, and we're going to take these guys for a quick little attack to see if we can get rid of these orc scoundrels that are running around. Yes, these aren't player controlled characters, they're independent, they don't belong to any army, they just go around doing their own thing, essentially bandits. Now at the bottom right you can see my opponents making their moves. It says unknown enemy leaders. I haven't found everyone because, well, I'm on one massive map. Look at that. The borders of that map. That's what I like it. I like it big. As everyone should for these types of games. Whoa! We've got some dread monkeys down there. And what do they have with them? A feathered serpent. I think we should go and get rid of that. We'll just wait for the independents to keep moving. There's an awful lot of them. Now, gameplay setting wise, when you create your game or do the campaign, you have two options: simultaneous moves or classic. I'm playing the classic mode. In a classic, it means you make a turn, you end your turn, the computer, all their individual opponents make their turns. In simultaneous mode, they all try and do things kind of at the same time, but not. If I click and move, my guy would move, no one else can move at the same time. Causes a bit of havoc. But without further ado, let's get into some combat. Now, unfortunately, I'm on blighted ground, so my morale is extremely low. But let's get into manual combat. You can select auto, which the computer does everything. It says probable victory, so it calculates a set amount depending on item damage, or I can run away, but we'll do manual combat. Now, unlike Civilization, this is where this game excels. Look at this. Only 4 stacked units and a hero. But you can have so many armies all surrounding places. You can take cover behind rocks as well. Oh. And they're throwing filthy stench at me. They're throwing poop. Poisonous poop. They're throwing filth at me. Can you believe it? So, wait, let's cast a spell. What shall we cast? Yes. Fist. Magic fist. We'll drop it down on those monkeys. And I just took down the majority of them. Oh, halfling farmers. Can you guys throw some chickens? Yes, they can. So, let's throw some chickens at them and right click. Now, every unit essentially has 3 movement points or attack points. The yellow areas or hexes around me, I can move in them and still attack without a problem. Yellow means I lose some attack, orange means I only have 1 attack. You can also see my trajectory. If your units have an arced throw on arced attack, especially archers, they do more damage because the arrow actually arcs down, gravity helps it. But you can also get blocked behind things, which is really good strategically. But let's throw our chickens at them. And we've just killed a bunch of filthy monkeys with chickens. Like everyone should. We'll move on. Nightwatch characters into the frontier. These are essentially our pole-armed little guards. Our phantasm warriors. We'll move in close. We'll get 1 attack at least. Oh, they retaliated quite a bit. Now, let's see. Yes. Now, here we go. I've got a ranged attack on this unit, but you can see it's blocked. As such, my attack is only 2 to 3, but I've got 3 attack points. And those monkeys are out of the way. So, let's ignore that and go in for the charging attack. Oh, he retaliated with a lot of damage. Have to certainly be careful. And you can only cast 1 spell. That's not very nice, but it's only 1 spell per turn. So let's add these on guard mode. 3, 3, and we'll fortify them and then click end turn. Now the independents are going to do theirs now. Bloody hell, they just essentially wiped out that group. Not to worry. Phantasm warriors were spawned, thank goodness. So, cast Seeker on these guys, which means if they throw chickens, they can't be obstructed very much. Come on, Knight. Get rid of them monkeys. There we go. Come on, guys. Do some damage to this feathered serpent. Fucking hell! Oh, this is not going well. Come on, farmers. Time for you to move in. I might actually lose this. I certainly hope I don't. The computer's generated probable defeat, probable victory. It's very much overestimating things sometimes. If you play strategically and manually, you can often win. I've often decided to actually play manually and win when someone is besieging my city, just because I strategically move things around to be as effective as possible. I can't use any more of this magic. Can't reach target. You, sir, I'm going to run. Oh, bugger me, and he's dead. Alright, guys, go in for the kill. Oh, balls. They've leveled up at least. It's Panda's camera. Panning of the camera with the middle mouse button is extremely slow and inefficient though. There's the other problem. My morale is the worst possible. They're disgusted. Oh, and they're on their hated terrain, which is blighted terrain. They're probably disgusted because they're covered in evil monkey poop that's poisoning them. Oh, and the bastard just decided to heal itself. Great. Great. I'm about to lose this entire army. Oh no. How unfortunate. The problem with losing combat is that your overall empire becomes very angry. The morale actually drops. If you lose a city or lose 3 battles in a row, your overall empire morale drops. Everyone's upset with you because, well, you just fail as a commander. Now, as much as I like little halflings, they're not very good fighters. I mean, chickens. You're throwing chickens at people. What the hell? Now, here we're back on the research panel, and I'm going to research some combat abilities. Suffocate is pretty decent. Doesn't use too much mana, but it can help quite a bit. So now we have a new archer that's been built, and I can move him around if I want, or I can press G or camp button G, which means they're never going to bother you for any commands again. They're just going to sit there and do their whole thing. Now, because they're around that city and in the outskirts of it, they're actually going to defend it rather well. I actually want to end that next archer, and I want to get that wall up as quick as possible, along with a storehouse, which is going to generate bigger population, and, well, a builder is all where people just build. You need productivity. Now, the 4 main resources in the game, something I should have covered probably earlier on, I think, is gold, mana, knowledge points, and casting points. Now, the first 2, they're self-explanatory. Gold to buy things, mana to make magic and keep spells operational. Knowledge points are for research. You get them from your bases and your cities, along with specialized items around the map. And casting points. You can actually increase this with research as well. If I go back to my research queue right here, you've got one called sorcery. It increases my casting points by 10 and increases my mana capacity by 100. This is what you need to cast spells in combat and in the game world itself as well. Now here you can see our research points they need and the amount of turns it'll take due to my very low knowledge based income. Don't worry, I'm certainly working on that. Now, I've got a very small area explored. The only city I've actually founded myself is right up here. This one I captured, and this one decided to join me after I did a quest for them. Yes, there are a lot of quests in the game. So if we zoom in, oh, you can see these guys mountaineering all over the place. So I don't trust something happening here. Ah, my city has expanded and my realm of influence has expanded as well. Now, let's go to the overview panel. You do have empire quests that your entire empire can do, but you can also see completed by unknown. These are people that are doing it at the exact same time as you and are going to complete it before you. There are also overview for your cities, how happy they are, what they're doing, resources, how much is getting brought in by which city and town, my army strength, my heroes, and my summoned magical units and their upkeep. Now over here, along with your empire quests, you also get specific ones here. As you can see, I've done this one, raise the watchtower completed. This is where the humans asked me to destroy a watchtower built there, simply because it was blocking their morning sun. So I did that and they decided to join me. Very fun stuff. Now never ever leave a city unprotected. Doing so means anyone can wander in. I accidentally did it with the human city where I lost it when an independent serpent decided he'll slither on into my city and just took it over because I had no defenders whatsoever. Now, besides all this wonderful things, you do get things like this. A trading post that increases things, but down here, let me just move my archer once I get my turn. Ooh, there's that bloody feathered serpent. I hate you so much. Killed all my halfling farmers. Now let's grab our archer and move down here quickly. Now, there are very unique buildings around the game. Like this, it's an inn. Having it in your realm increases happiness by 100, but clicking on it also shows that you actually have specialized units or mercenaries that you can hire. Halfling Eagle Rider, Human Civic Guard, a Goblin Untouchable, and even Dwarven Axeman. You get such a varied amount of things. Now, unlike Age of Wonders 2, they done away with the whole spell tower system, something I really enjoyed. You could upgrade a tower in it to certain levels. You can see my little tower there, my wizard tower. In Age of Wonders 2, you can upgrade it to up to rank 3 or 4, which was the ultimate one, which you could then have specific things like spell shields, a shield generated by that tower to protect your people. They didn't have that here. The game is very much different in that sense, where it went away from the whole 2D aspect and the whole pure magic to this Age of Wonders. Now in it you also have technology. If you play a Dreadnought, which is someone that don't have any magic spells whatsoever, they have a few summoning things, but that's more like flashbang grenades. Yes, flashbangs, even flamethrower tanks. Dreadnoughts are all focused on technology, dwarves and humans. Now in Age of Wonders 3, the High Elves are brand new, they're back. In the original games, they're the Wood Elves and the Dark Elves, which were split. Meander and Julia, good and evil. And they've combined their forces again to create the High Elves, and now the Halflings are coming out on their own again as well. But technology seems to be taking over, and it's not that great, I think. It's certainly nice. I'm actually extremely disappointed in one fact. I can't play as my favorite race, which is the Undead. I absolutely loved playing the Undead. And you just don't have them here anymore. It's extremely unfortunate, and I miss it. But hopefully they'll add them back in. Like I said, I really enjoyed playing those, and I loved spreading the whole plane of death. With the whole spell towers, you can emit your aura around the area and in your domain. So if you played an undead lich like I did in Age of Wonders 2, you can corrupt and kill and spread the realm of death, which means everywhere from your magical tower, death would flow. All the ground, all the trees, everything here would die away entirely and become dead and rotted. Which means if someone conquered you, they'd have a hell of a time surviving there. It's only good for the undead. Now, they don't have that system here, but you do get global spells that could generate temperate climates and things like that, but you can't create a domain of life or domain just of death anymore. And it's sad. I really liked that whole system. But I can understand why. They're differentiating the game entirely. And it makes sense to some extent. They don't want it to just be a continuation from what they had. Now here you can see I'm upgrading my character skills from the one that was in combat earlier. And they've got so much. So much. I don't need night vision. There's no underground things here, but I'll upgrade my melee strength as well. I like Age of Wonders 2, but it feels like it's missing quite a bit that Age of Wonders 2 had. I really miss the whole spell tower system, but then again it's not about pure magicians and magic anymore. Sure, it's there, and the game focuses heavily on it. If you have a sorcerer character like mine, where their research tree and spell books are absolutely massive, but it's just not the same, I think. And while I enjoy this game, oh bloody hell, I've already got about 10-12 hours in this. It is fantastic. The tutorial leaves much to be desired. It doesn't help a lot, which means you constantly have to go up here to your tome of knowledge and wisdom, which is extremely well detailed, similar to Civilization 5. And I have to say though, the campaign, I've never been a fan of campaigns, but it's well thought out, well structured, and really good. Unfortunately, negotiation and diplomacy doesn't work well in it. It's more about fighting for survival and finishing mission objectives, which you either do or you don't. But overall, I'm extremely happy with this, and the small bits of details from this map to all zooming in to the finest little details on character progression and things. Oh, it's so well done. Now it is a slow game, I will give you that. It can be painstakingly slow, but it's a game that you take in small sips. You play it bit by bit by bit. You can certainly take your time, but the artificial intelligence is brutal if you're not careful. Absolutely brutal. Now I found, there we go, there's some items down there. So we're gonna grab my character here. Those three, and go grab those. That's from my general that died earlier. I completely forgot about those. Completely. We'll send it to him, and we'll send the boots, the little bravey there. There we go. And we'll head on back home. Alright, Sorcery 3's been researched, and what else shall we do? Elemental summoning, yes. That'll do fine. That'll do fine. Now, I might as well show you what these runes do in a second, but they're awfully powerful. Oh, Berserk, very nice. Blood honor every time someone dies. And martial arts. There is so much to choose from, it's unbelievable. Now, martial arts, unit gains +5 defense bonus against attacks of opportunity and retaliation, which means if someone tries to backstab him, he's gonna get a bonus to it. This is a fantastic game, and I have to say, I usually play random maps like this where you just generate your own things. You can create your own hero or select any of the dozens of predetermined ones, but I do like the campaign, and it's actually well thought out, constantly balancing between different main characters with an overarching completion area going on. Oh, balls, come on. That bloody serpent is attacking my town. And he's just taken over my town. This is really bad. This is so bad. This is what I mean about don't leave your towns undefended. Oh, come on. Let's summon a node serpent. Lord knows I'll need one. Alright, can I actually win that back? Yes, I can. Thank goodness. The bastard actually took my city. And this is what I mean about independence. They are extremely aggressive and evil. So let's upgrade her as a dragon slayer. And we'll add some fire protection to her. There we go. Absolutely bizarre. Bizarre. Now these guys need a lot more defense. What can we give them? Eagle nest? No, 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 that. Get some pikemen going. Why would I want farmers? Farmers are the pikemen. That's just crazy, but if you need them, you need them, I guess. I love the whole cloud system here. Like I keep saying, every tiny bit of detail put into this game is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Unfortunately, unlike Age of Wonders 2, there isn't a button similar to in Civilization where you can just set a unit to auto-explore. It's very annoying. Also, with roads, you have to actually build them manually, which is... ugh. It's very annoying. Alright, you guys. Go kill them. Come on, turn. Independence take an awful long turn. Let's get rid of these people here. Now, because I'm close to my city, and they're actually in adjacent to the other minions, you can see they're all joining in on the combat. And we've just won. Haven't lost anyone. Fantastic. Now, we'll just select my two eagle riders, and we'll make them go fly around and explore. The game is extremely well balanced and extremely well done. If you like 4X games and you want something kind of like Civilization but also with a good strong sense of RPG mechanics, you're going to love this. The problem along with not being Civilization is that you have to micromanage every bloody city. You can't install a governor that automatically goes buildings, attack units or war units or just resource production. Nope, you have to do it all manually. But at least they have a queue where you can queue up to 5 units or buildings at the same time. It certainly helps a lot. Now these guys need a stone wall. And they need some civic guards, I think. Along with some swordsmen. I need to build up an army. Because I'm actually at war with another halfling. Some asshole that's spreading death and decay. And I'm not very happy about it. Oh! A hero offers to join you. Except they want 300 gold and I don't have that. So... yeah, decline. Sorry about that. Let's explore. Now another thing that's really tedious about exploration is you can't actually just click on a part of the map and go. It says this hex has not yet been explored, so you have to go bit by bit at a time. Oh, there's my enemy, the army of Roger. Balls, he's got himself here, Roger Peacock. 2 generals. Is this his capital? I think this is his capital. I should go wipe this bastard out. Let's put you on guard, end our turn. Now I'm about to summon my fancy Node Serpent. Now nodes is something that's also slightly missing, or not, they don't have as much of an importance in this game. As you can see, we've got air nodes here, which also get fire nodes, death nodes, life nodes, things like this. In Age of Wonders 2, the entire game worked by the whole sphere system. Spheres as in there's a death sphere, a life sphere, sphere of war, things like that. And it's not emphasized as much here anymore. Mainly because story-wise, technology has overdriven magic entirely and humans are only slowly discovering magic again, but they're doing it by using mana to create more machines. Now to summon a monster or any type of thing, you have to do it in or around your city. Now you can see if I move away from it, I can't, but if it's in close proximity to my hero, I can. So we'll summon him out there. Now if we click on him, you can see he flies around. Movement points quite well. There's our beautiful Node Serpent with all his abilities. Now you can upgrade these, not per unit, but through research, to actually uncover different ones, such as elementals, fantastic creatures, all sorts of things. It is fantastic. If you play an Orchard, you can even summon a Horned God. Very overpowered thing indeed. So what shall we research now? Domain of Winter. This is kind of like I had mentioned originally with the whole Domain of Death and things that way you can spread it out from your tower. Here it's just a global spell, or as they call it here, a strategic spell. I'm not quite sure why they changed the names from the original two games, but it's the same thing. And why they would give me a halfling Domain of Winter, Lord knows. That is just silly, but I want to research sorcery, as much magic as possible. And I need to get the hell away from this dude. She's still asking to join. I don't have the money to let you join. Leave me alone. So, Arcane Forge. Now this is a very nice building. The Arcane Forge actually allows you to build your own unique weapons and items, similar to this prototype rifle my character has. Very interesting. Now, as you can see, there's that texture flashing on her breastplate, and I don't like it. It's just silly drivers, or it's the game engine, either one of the two. But it's usually down to crossfire. Alright guys, let's move you down there. I can move through his domain because I'm already at war with him and he's an asshole. And that seems to be his capital. He hasn't explored much or expanded much from the looks of it. Which is all good to me, I guess. Ancient ruins, can't really do much there. Well, let's have a look. We'll go in, even if I lose the items and the characters. Let's show you what this is like. And this is where the RPG element really gets in close. I'm obviously going to lose these poor eagles, but let's show you what this is like, and it is fantastic. Actually, probable victory, not too bad. Manual combat. Now this is where the RPG elements really shine, with the runes like this, and even with the dungeons. You get full on dungeons where you have to go dungeon crawling. It is absolutely fantastic. And look at all of these independents. What are those, goblins? Goblin berserkers, draconian. Oh, these are all berserkers. Alright, suffocate. Let's suffocate these chaps. It didn't kill that many. Not good. Let's charge at them. I'll get 2 attacks at least. A high elf berserker. Very interesting. Now, that's something I really appreciate about this game. They went for the effort. Every unit is different. These are all berserkers. But unlike Civilization, where they're all the exact same unless you have mods, every race and unit is specifically different. They went and tailor-made them all. And I really appreciate it. Like I said, the fine details that they went into this is fantastic. Oh shit! They just went and reborn themselves? So much for probable victory. Oh no. Magic fist. Man, I thought there was supposed to be like a chance of me winning this. What is this? They're just spawning more creatures. Oh no. What? Oh, random wild magic. Something else that was been added with the expansion. While I appreciate the expansion, It seems like you're still playing catch up with Age of Wonders 2 when it came to the amount of details you have. And I really hope they add the undead. Everyone, this is just a snippet of Age of Wonders 3. There is so much to the game. I've barely scratched the surface to it. You can only do so much in around 12 hours of gameplay. And I have played a good bit of the campaign. I would strongly recommend it. If you are a fan of Heroes of Might and Magic and Civilization, even Warlocks of Magic and Worlds of Magic, definitely have a look at this game. Definitely. You can even pick up 1 and 2 at GOG.com or Steam, and I would strongly recommend that. As I mentioned before, the game is currently on Windows only, but the Mac version is in development, and it's coming soon. Do have a look at their developer blog, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, and if you're a fan of these strategy games, do like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Mac gameplay coverage. I'm Al, thanks for watching everyone, and bye bye.